Hey there, everyone. Today, I wasn't going to do a video, but I got a comment in one of my recent videos about tips for new preppers, which is tips from other people in the preparedness community about how to get started with preparedness. And I got a comment on that video that basically said prepping is pointless and a waste of time. So I want to break that comment down today a little bit because in that one paragraph, there are a bunch of misconceptions, a bunch of things that are just not true, and a bunch of prepping cliches that you get from society, the typical person in society that has this idea in their head of what the typical prepper is. So in this, let me just throw this comment up here, and I'll just break this down into individual parts. So the first part says Western society will collapse and become Mad Max. Now, that is, Western society, in my opinion anyway, probably will collapse. The United States that we know and love probably will be reshaped and reformed and all that. But the and become Mad Max part of it, I just don't think that's what the typical person believes is that's what we're all prepping for. I don't think that's even I don't think it's likely. I think it's possible, I suppose, if everybody decided to launch nuclear missiles and the entire globe became a wasteland, maybe the people that survive, you're looking at some sort of Mad Max situation. I suppose it's possible. Not likely in the least, in my opinion, anyway. Maybe there are people preparing for that. That's not me, and that's not most preppers. Now, the second part they get into and they say, however, prepping is the worst idea in the world. Now, that's the part that got me here. Worst idea in the world. I can think of a whole lot of ideas and things people do that are worse than prepping. I mean, that to me makes absolutely no sense. And they go on and talk about how because it's mostly done by childish and childless middle-aged men. I guess most of us are kind of childish, but childless middle-aged men. Now, I don't know about your friends, your acquaintances, but everyone that I know in the preparedness community, everyone in my private group, everyone that I've interacted with to one extent or another, most of them, maybe not all of them, but most of them have children. Children is a driving force in preparedness, whether you're talking about a male or a female, which is another just flat out wrong in that little part right there. It's mostly done by childish middle-aged men, childless middle-aged men. In my group, like I was talking about, and as Lisa and I have been doing this for over a decade now, there are so many women that we have that interacted with that are in preparedness. So yes, there is a majority that are men, but that doesn't mean women aren't doing it and doing it for the same reasons, for our children, for our safety, for natural disasters, personal doomsday, so many different things that have nothing to do with a Mad Max situation. But the typical idea from society is we are all hiding in our bunkers with our gas masks, waiting for the bombs to drop, and then we're going to get out and it's going to be some sort of, like they say here, zombie apocalypse. I'll continue here. They say, what are you preserving? Your own reproductive organs? Yeah, that is projecting what they think about preparedness and not actually what the hell we're doing. It's almost like it's just because it's fun to go out to the range, just because it's fun to try some of these new skills and go camping and bushcraft stuff and whatever it is that we enjoy doing. Just because we enjoy that stuff, people feel like it's a game that we're playing. And to some people, it probably is. For most of us, the ones that are really into this and really take this seriously, it's not a game. There are fun aspects to it, but it is definitely not a game. So, and this part right here, a community with children and a healthy balance of males and females could do prepping. I don't know exactly what they mean by could do prepping, but anybody can do prepping. Basically, what they're talking about is, to me, this sounds more like a rebuild of society, this picture in their mind. It's a rebuild of society. It's not preparedness. It's not prepping. They are thinking they started out with the Mad Max scenario, and that's the scenario they have in their head. And again, it's not just this one person. It's a lot of people in society that feel the same way. But at any rate, balance of males and females could do prepping. But old guys who want to do a zombie apocalypse thing is just silly. You know, it's the middle-aged men, the middle-aged women, the middle-aged people that are into preparedness. There's a reason why 18 to 20-year-olds really, or teenagers really aren't into preparedness, because they don't have the responsibilities that come with having a family and thinking about all these things that could really disrupt your daily life and your family's daily life. It's about protecting your family. It's about being that mama bear. It's about being that papa bear. It's about making sure that your kids learn the right way. That's one of the most important things, I think, in this is the ability to teach your kids the way that things getting to the point where they used to be, and teaching your kids that self-reliance, teaching your kids that you don't have to follow the machine with everything. That to me is just as big a part as prepping. That to me is just as big a part of prepping as preparing for nuclear war or preparing for a cyber attack or whatever it is. That to me is just as important. So she says it's silly that middle-aged men, that we just want to protect our junk, I suppose. To me, never really thought of it that way. I'm protecting my family. And that's how I see it. And that's how Lisa thinks of it as well. And she's a female that's into prepping. So anyway, this is just silly. I have kids that live in a community, and I might do prepping for them, but not for me. That right there makes absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever right there. I might do prepping. What is do prepping? I don't understand what I might do prepping. I might do prepping for my children, but not for me. Isn't the most important part, to take care what you have to do in order to take care of your children, just like a medic, right? To stay safe in a situation, an EMT person or something like that, they have to make sure they're taken care of first, right? To prepare and help that person that is wounded or injured or whatever. The same thing as a parent. My focus is not solely on me and how I'm going to survive something. To some extent, it is, because I need to be able to survive if I want to make decisions for my family, if I want to make sure they're making the correct decisions and doing the things. So it's ridiculous to me that there's no possible way I'm going to prepare for my kids, or I'm going to do prepping for my kids, but not for me. I just don't understand that. How are you going to build up your food storage for your kids? Are you just going to get a whole bunch of boxes of cereal and fill your pantry with SpaghettiOs and you're good to go? And then some sort of natural disaster happens, and then, your kids are eating, but you're not. You're sitting in the corner not eating anything because you just prepared for your kids. You go ahead, kids. I'll last a few days without any food. I'm going to be just fine. There's water in the basement. I'm not going to drink any of it because that's all for you guys. Hopefully I survive a few days and this is over before I die. But if I do, here's a list of things that I prepared for you. Absolutely ridiculous comment. So at any rate, I don't want to get off, go into too detail in this video with all this stuff, but it's just, that is the typical mindset from people these days about what prepping is. We're all wearing our nuclear, we're in our bunkers, wearing our gas mask, and we're all prepared for everything to just go to a complete crap. Just because we complain about the government, we complain about Biden, means that we think that by next week, everything's going to crap. Maybe it does. Now, as the days go on, I think more and more so that it's quite possible that it's closer than we think. But at the same time, we don't let it affect our daily lives like we're sharpening up our zombie weapons and getting ready for, putting spikes on our shoulder pads and things like that. That's what we're getting ready for. That's prepping. No, it's absolutely not prepping. Prepping is taking care of your finances. Prepping is teaching your kids about preparedness. Prepping is building community and all these different things, and building your food storage and your water storage, and learning about how you might have to react given a certain situation or certain disaster scenario. That's prepping. It can't be wrapped up into one single thing like this person in this comment said. And that's what a lot of people in society just do. They think, oh, I'm not even going to bother digging into preparedness. I'm not even going to bother looking into the realities of it because the mainstream media or the Hollywood has shown me what these whack jobs are all about. And it's absolutely not true. So I'll leave the link. Well, you can find that video, tips for new preppers. And if you want to leave that person a comment, feel free. I did, and I was very nice about it at this point. We'll see where it goes from here, but just absolutely ridiculous that is the idea about what prepping is. And I know I shouldn't let it get to me, and it really doesn't that much. But when there's all that packed into one little paragraph, I just had to do a video about it. So at any rate, I appreciate y'all listening. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got the private group over at members.survivalistprepper.net. You can join that group. We've got a bunch of preppers in there, men and women. Probably about middle-aged, a little bit older, some of us, and, just a wide range of people that are preparing for a wide range of things. And I don't think anybody is preparing for Mad Max, or I haven't seen that yet. So anyway, really cool group. I appreciate you all watching today, and we will talk to y'all later.